Hello everyone, welcome to the UNC digital class. In our previous lecture of corporate restructuring, we discussed about merger, which is a very popular restructuring strategy, and we know restructuring is an integral part of a modern business because after the introduction of globalization and liberalization, it has generated the wave of free trade which increased the competition among competitors. So, every corporate entity need to redesign or restructure their strategy to exist in the market. So, in merger video we discussed about meaning of merger, its type and motives behind merger. In continuing to that part, today we discuss about the theories of merger. We have several theories. So, let us move on to the theories of merger. The first theory is about differential efficiency theory. The differential efficiency theory says that more efficient firms will acquire less efficient firms and realize gains by improving their efficiency. This implies excess managerial capabilities in the acquiring firms. According to the differential efficiency theory of merger, if any company is performing below their potential level, then that is better if that is taken over by another company. That means if a efficient company acquire or take over a inefficient firm, that firm try to improve their potential level and that firm in future performing in a better way. Differential efficiency theory helps in horizontal merger in which every business are in a same product line and they are direct competitors with each other. That differential efficiency theory helps them, these horizontal merger types, to improve their performance and they survive in the market for the long run. Then the second one is about inefficient management theory. That inefficient management theory suggests that if any management who have the power to control the firm are unable to control in a proper way, that creates problem. If this type of firm is taken over by another firm that give benefits and that adding value to their firm, here this type of merger is helpful for conglomerate merger where the business are completely unrelated, they are different from each other. Then the next one is operating synergy theory. We know synergy means the combined effect of two individual entity gives more benefits than they operate independently. Operating synergy happens when two firms combine their operating income and help each other to reach at a predetermined stage, and a performance level of both companies when work together is considered the best as compared to they operate independently. Then the next theory is about financial synergy. The financial synergy theory hypothesis complementary between merging firms not in management capabilities, but in the availability of investment opportunities and internal cash flow. In financial synergy occurs when two companies join together and improve their financial activities to a level that helps the firm in further growth and achieve their desired goal. Financial synergy help to lower their cost of capital as a result of merger or acquisition, and it helps to reduce their cost and save their cost for further development. Then the next theory is about pure diversification theory. Pure diversification as a theory of mergers different from shareholders portfolio diversification. Shareholders can efficiently spread their investment and risks among industry. So, there is no need for firms to diversify for the sake of their shareholders. Therefore, firms may diversify to encourage firm specific human capital investment which make their employees more valuable and productive, and to increase the probability that the organization and reputation capital of the firm will be preserved by transfer to another line of business owned by the firm in the event its initial industry declines. The concept of pure diversification is the idea of diversification through merger is the demand by management and employees for internal growth due to lack of internal resources or capabilities required, preserving organizational goal and acquiring new capabilities is the motive of pure diversification, and this pure diversification may not help the investor because it may or may not add value to the farms. Then the next theory is undervaluation theory or Q ratio, we can call it as Q ratio. The undervaluation theory states that merger occurs when the market value of target farm stock for some reasons does not reflect its true value. Means when the target farm's market price or market share showing its value that is comparatively less than they actually have, then at the time the merger occur, and this merger is the aim to acquire the target farm when their price is comparatively low from the market price, and we call it as Q ratio because the ratio of the market value of the stock of the acquiring farms to the replacement cost of its asset is known as Q ratio. This terms is also suggest the farm, those who are engaged in merger and acquisition, they wait for the time when the target farm market value represent comparative low price. At that time they come into merger and acquisitions, and that give them benefits for the future, and that help to acquire more expensive assets in a comparatively lower value. Then the next theory is about hubris theory, that is managerial pride and the winner course. Sometimes management who having the controlling power of a company have overconfident about their valuation, and they thought the price they set for evaluating a target farm is very appropriate. At that time they start overpaying, and the value the target farm actually have, they try to give more, and only because to don't lose their bid they try to accept that bid, and they accept that bid in quite higher amount that later they regret, but only because of their arrogance they try to merge or try to capture that farm, that create financial burden which they feel, but only because of their arrogance or only because of their overconfidence they are overpaying, and that regret later. Then the next theory is strategic rearrangement. It is a way to quickly adjust to the changes in the external environment, importantly legal and technological. It is more important when a company has burning desire to grow and the growth rate would be slow if does not internally. We know every organization exists in an environment, and environment is dynamic in nature. So, every corporate entity try to cope up with the change that occur in the environment. So, in order to survive in the market and capture the changes that made in particularly in the field of technology and in the field of legal, every company try to merge with another company, and that helps to survive in the market. These technological changes helps to acquire new product, new market and new customers, and each and every company try to acquire them. So, for as soon as possible they need to cope up with the changes that occur in the environment. So, they need to merge with a technical sound firm or sound company that helps to achieve their desired goal in future. So, this is about the theories of merger. In here just I want to clarify some doubt about merger and acquisitions, because this term we use very frequently and interchangeably, but there is some little difference between merger and acquisitions. Mergers refers to the consolidation of two or more companies to form an all new entity with a new name. That means if two different entity decide to join together and they start their business, suppose A Limited and B Limited are two different entity and they try to join together. In case of merger, a new entity, we can call it as C Limited may be formed, and we can call that is a merger. And merger we have different varieties, different types, that is horizontal merger, vertical merger and conglomerate merger. In horizontal merger, the organization or the firm, those who have direct competition with each other, they merge, we call it as horizontal merger. In vertical merger, the firm, those who are merged together, they perform in a different supply chain. That means if some firm is operate in production level, then another firm is operating in research and development, maybe in the sector of marketing. If this type of firm join together, we can call it as vertical merger. Then the last one is about conglomerate merger. That merger is completely different, unrelated business. That means the firms, those who are decided to merge together, they are completely different from each other. If an FMCG company merged with an automobile sector, we can call it as conglomerate merger. That means the business is completely different from each other. Then acquisition, an acquisition is the purchase of an entity by another entity. This can be done either by acquiring ownership over 51% of its share capital or by taking over the assets of the company. That means one company acquire another company, that means they purchase the another company and having the ownership rights of 51%, or they have the rights to use the assets the company have. In acquisition, there are two types of acquisition, hostile acquisitions and friendly acquisition. In hostile acquisition, one company forcefully acquire another company. That means the company merged with the company who have the rights or who have the 51% of share. The other company is unwilling to merge with that, but against their willingness, one company is merged with another, that is hostile. Then the friendly acquisition. In friendly acquisitions, two companies mutually decide to join together and start their business. We can call it acquisitions, that is friendly acquisitions. We can call it as friendly acquisitions. This is all about the theories of merger. This is all about the theories of merger that we have, and in our next video we will discuss about the sources of value creation through mergers and acquisitions. Thank you.